So you guys have already seen some of this footage because this is actually footage of a demo day that cameraman and I attended, and I showed you the test ride of the Sport Glide, but we decided to try 2 other bikes while we were there because they allowed us to and there wasn't anybody that had signed them out. So this is actually sort of part 2 of that demo day footage where I test ride a Fat Bob and cameraman rides a street glide. He wanted to ride the CVO street glide, but somebody else took it. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this second half of that Harley Davidson demo day.
Good, how are you? I mean, this bike is probably going to be funner to ride, if that's a word, more fun.
Would you rather ride this one though?
Nah, I want to take the big boy. So we got to go get our helmets and stuff and check in.
You said sign in over here? Yep. My right hand.
No, I don't have a card, or do I?
No, I don't have one either. You just have your license, right?
Yeah.
I am blowing up.
How you doing?
Quoting my driver's license number,
Yeah.
and it's telling me I don't have a valid driver's license.
Yeah.
You're the rider.
Both of us
I have a feeling they're going to tell me the same thing here.
So
But
we'll do
Which is
There it is. Okay. You have to come here
Okay.
and type, yes, you agree. Now over here yourself. I'm ready.
I don't know. Shit.
You got a good name.
Thank you.
I'm Mike.
Mike, what do you think I should roll on?
I don't know. Something.
Mike, you want the CBO?
We could take the Sport Glide. I mean, you've ridden a lot. You want to? Oh, you know what you haven't ridden is you have not ridden the Road King ever, have you?
No, is that the Road King right there?
Road King.
You think that's a fun bike? I'll take it out.
Yeah, that's a fun one. Well, I can't speak for that particular bike, but
What, my bike?
Last year when we did this, they put me on a 48.
yeah.
I was like,
No.
I got no more teeth left.
I rode a 48 and I thought it was fun.
Well, I take that one?
Yeah, take that one. That's
Is that the
fun.
one you want?
Yeah, I want to try that one.
Okay.
was
I
fun.
thought you might want the Road King because you've never done it.
I've never done the Road
The only
King.
problem that I see with this catastrophe is
But that's the Road King?
No, this is the Road
No.
King right here.
I could try that one too.
No, you do what you want. What was in the back? What was he saying?
Nah, that one's going to be hard to get out. I'll take the Road King.
you can't get anything behind that. Out. Yeah, you can get that street.
I'll get
bike
out. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can.
Whatever you want, but
Okay. This is what Fitz rolls on, right? This is a street glide. Huh?
Fitzy has a road glide.
Does he?
I don't know about this, but the controls are better
This one I feel like it's way more nimbler than that other one.
than the road glide.
Yeah. That was just on the road glide, right?
Yeah, the CVO.
This is the CVO street glide.
No, it's not the CVO.
Oh, that's right. I switched.
So guys, we really enjoyed the second test ride route a little bit better. We had a different guide that told us that he was going to take us on a little bit longer route, and it ended up being a very pretty and nice ride. So I do give an opinion of how I felt about the Fat Bob at the end of this ride, but I will give you a little spoiler alert. I didn't prefer it in comparison to the Sport Glide, and certainly not in comparison to my bike. And I'll talk a little bit at the end of this video about why that is. I truly and honestly love my bike, and I've been asked by a lot of people now that I've test rode a ton of bikes, what is my favorite bike, including the sport bikes and the touring bikes and the Indian. And honestly, my bike is still my favorite bike. I know that a bit of that is that I've made it my own, and another bit of that is that I am used to that bike, so now it feels like home. But honestly, from the very first time that I got on that bike, and you'll hear me talk a little bit about the bikes that I test rode when I was trading in my Sportster before I settled on this bike, and I just did not feel as comfortable on any of those bikes as I felt on the Lowrider S. I immediately loved it. I got on and thought, this is the bike for me. Frankly, I was slightly irritated because Cameraman had told me before I went that he thought that that was a badass bike that I would love. And I sort of just didn't want him to be right in that moment. But he was right. It was my favorite bike. And then he actually came back with me another day, and I test rode it again and knew that that was going to be the bike for me. So despite all of my rides of all these different bikes, that was my favorite. Now, this Fat Bob does have the same engine, the 114, that my bike has. I think that the Fat Bob from 2020, the year of my bike, actually had forward controls, and this one had mid controls. I think they moved the controls back. They still were further away than my Lowrider S controls, which, as you guys know from the Sport Glide video, I do not prefer. So I liked having them a little closer because I recall that when I sat on the 2020 Fat Bob, I felt like the controls were too far up.
This bike was pretty good, man. I enjoyed it. I didn't think Megan looked good on this one. What do you do?
So, guys, I got to test ride because it was a demo day. I got to test ride the Fat Bob, which I had actually considered buying when I was trading in my Sportster for my Lowrider S, because, frankly, I'll be honest, it came in red, and you all know I like red. So I had considered buying this but it just didn't feel as comfortable, and I couldn't find a red one actually in Maryland at the time. So I test rode it today just because I was curious. And frankly, I didn't love it. I really didn't. I'm glad I went with a lowrider. It wasn't a terrible bike. It was fun still. But it still has the same crappy back brake that mine has. I feel like it's not as nimble. It doesn't turn as easily as mine. I didn't like the shifter. It kind of almost felt stiff in the way that the Indian Challenger shifter. Now again, could be the individual bike, but I didn't like it. It felt clunkier than mine. So it was nice. It had mid controls, and I could reach the bars pretty well. So it was okay, but it wasn't my favorite bike.
Nah, that's good. So if you had to choose between this Fat Bob, and the Sport
That I rode
earlier, which
Yes.
one would you take?
the Sport.
Sport.
Yeah, the Sport Glide was. I still didn't like the forward controls, but if I had mid controls on the Sport Glide, it handled a million times better than that Fat Bob. I liked it better.
Good.
I think your mother rode it.
That was a better ride, much better ride. We had some fun on that ride. Yeah.
Just my neighborhood.
Yeah.
I play all up on them roads up in there.
All right, so this is your area.
Well, I live in Greenbelt.
Okay.
That's the government farms.
Right.
And I can go there in the afternoon. There's no cars because the government farm. I mean, if you stay away from 4 o'clock when NASA gets off, then it gets crowded. But if you run into a tractor or a deer, I can spend 2 hours just. And it's like I went way out in the country.
Yeah.
10 miles from my house.
That's perfect.
But I wanted to ride that
The
one.
Pan?
The Pan America, I mean.
So she rode that Pan the other day. The Pan America.
She like it?
I mean, she tippy toes.
Set her on the step. Yeah, that's good. She did pretty good. Go ahead and stick it on the steps.
I mean, I can't even say tippy toes. It was tiptoe.
What on the
Pan.
Pan Am? It was rough.
Now, did you ride the one that drops or?
Yes.
Rough,
Still
but
rough?
it still only gave me
Well, 2
an
inches.
inch and
I
a
mean,
half,
she's like-
maybe.
right.
And like I didn't have these boots at the time. These boots are better. These are probably 2.5, maybe.
Right.
But like
You're still.
oh my god, like
was
even
bad.
just getting my
Getting on
leg
it, yeah.
over top.
His steps still.
So I had.
I mean, it was
to
tall
do-
for me.
Looks so
I had
high,
to
yeah.
do the 3,
Okay.
like
Right.
lean on my left leg, and then go,
Yeah.
which was okay. I mean, it wasn't terrible. I was very uncomfortable initially, but I was like, you know what? If I take this around the parking lot and I don't think I can do it, then I will take it out. But once I started moving and I stopped once or twice, I was like, you know what? I got this.
And that's what, when I do demo rides at the dealership, we do a lap around the building. And I tell the people, just like you ride your bike, then you get on that bike. You're not comfortable with that bike.
No.
You do it.
Yeah,
So I told
feel
them,
the brakes,
I
right?
go around this dealership 100 times if you want. I'm here all day. I want you comfortable.
Before you go out.
Before I get out there where the traffic is, I don't want you run.
Yeah, I
And
mean-
my job's to get you back safe and enjoy the ride. Then you'll might move up.
I've
my motorcycle.
never ridden a bike that besides that one, that I thought, I don't know if I can take this out on the road.
Right.
So, but I will tell you this. I really, like even the big full dressers that I've ridden
Right.
are, it's tough to taxi it.
Right.
But once I'm riding,
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's fun to ride.
Right. But now the Pan Am, but it was a little bit more.
Had a little more suspension too, didn't it?
Yeah,
It's supposed to
it
be
has that
all
automatic suspension, and you can feel it. But I will say this: I was more cautious coming to a stop, like at a stoplight,
Right,
on that
'cause
than I was on like
on
a
that.
full dresser. Yeah. And you know what? Today I rode before I bought the Lowrider S, I had considered
The Sport.
the Fat Bob.
Fat Bob, okay.
Because it came in red. I'm
Right.
embarrassed to admit, but I'm a girl and I wanted to.
like
do
That's
it.
why she painted her bike.
That's
right.
red
That's
as soon as
right.
she got
thing
it.
when you painted it.
So I thought about it, but when I got on it, I just didn't feel as comfortable as I did on the lowrider. So I didn't test ride it then. I test rode a street Bob. I test rode a Slim that day, and I test rode my bike and liked my bike. I'm glad that I went with the lowrider S. I didn't hate it, but I didn't enjoy
What? Right.
the
Well, each bike rides
the Fat Bob.
different, yeah.
I didn't like how it shifted very much. It has the same crappy back brake that my bike has, but it
Her back
doesn't do
brake is
any of the
horrible.
good things that my bike.
Right.
Alrighty.
Bye guys, thanks.
Take care.
I hope you guys enjoyed part 2 of our Harley Demo Day and the test ride of the Fat Bob. I am super excited because Cameraman and I are going on the road this week. We are going to do a really fun and exciting collaboration with another moto vlogger. We are going to get to ride Vermont. We're actually going to visit a good friend of Cameraman's while we're up north. I'm told that the leaves have already started to change, which is pretty cool. And then it'll be a little bit colder than it's been here, which is in the 90s. So that might be actually a welcome change. But I appreciate all the feedback that you guys provided when I asked for it in the last video. There won't be a video on Sunday just because we'll be on the road, but we'll be back here on Thursday with new footage. Until next time, guys, ride safe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're interested in subscribing to our Patreon channel, the link's in the bio. Thanks, guys.